Okay. You have to know what's going on all the time.
Yeah,
hmm hmm
not all the time, but most of the time. We're live now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to what is it? The Christian Life podcast. The Salt Christian.
Yeah, the
The Salt
Christian Life
Christian.
podcast.
It's a podcast about Christian dating. That's all you need to know.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Welcome. Lovely Tuesday. Hope everybody's week has been good. How are you, Cassandra?
I am good, Rob.
hmm
How are you?
I'm good. That's the end of the podcast.
That's it.
Um, now you were saying about just before we came on, you said about you having taster session for your wedding.
Yes. So we went and tasted food, of course. Uh, that's what we
hmm
do, the taster session, isn't it? And they gave me a much bigger plate than what I thought that they were meant to give you. I thought that they were
Mm,
meant to just literally bring out tasters, like a little bowl of something, and then you're like, that's quite
hmm
delicious. But they
hmm
they didn't. They actually gave us whole plates of food, and didn't no, they didn't give us dessert. They didn't give us dessert, but
Oh,
it's
well,
apple crumble.
you're gonna have dessert, aren't you, for your
We're
wedding?
gonna have dessert, but it's apple crumble, so I feel like you can't really get that wrong.
But they didn't let you taste it.
They didn't let us taste it.
Ah.
But how wrong can you get an apple? It's just an apple crumble and custard. You know, it's not.
It's hard to mess up, isn't it? But you'd be
It's hard to mess
surprised.
up.
I mean, I probably could
Oh,
mess it
don't say
up.
that.
I could mess up a crumble. I don't think I've ever cooked a crumble.
Oh,
I could. I'm not really a baker.
ah,
Maybe I should get into baking.
get
That's
into
stuff
baking
that
is great.
yeah, girls love that, don't they? Do you think the girl is that attractive? Like if a guy can bake.
Yeah, it's great because we love cake. Well, a lot of us love cake. I can't speak for all women on the planet, but a lot of us really love cake. So if you can bake a cake, that's
That's hot.
winning. Yeah,
hmm That's a good present as well if you like you're dating. Like a good
a
gesture,
cake.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a homemade cake, and you can decorate it with their initials and
Because flowers you can just buy. Like a
yes,
cake. A cake is effort. A cake
it's a
is
lot of effort.
labor has taken place.
Yes, and that is
Yeah.
very, very good. We like a bit of labor.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Is everything else sorted for the wedding now?
No.
No. Oh, that was just the
Well, to
first
be
step.
honest, there's not a lot. I say there's not a lot to sort, but there's not a lot to sort. Um,
hmm
it's just booking a few things really, and showing up on time on the day. Booked my makeup
Yeah.
artist. I
Make
feel
sure you
like for
show
me,
up.
that's make sure I show up. Like, don't be a runaway bride. That's not mine.
Oh gosh.
I won't be a runaway bride, but that's all I have to really. I've got my dress, my makeup is booked. You
Oh,
know, we're doing the
that's
food.
it.
What
You got
else?
the key.
DJ.
Yeah, the key ingredients are there.
The groom is there. Like he's
Oh,
willing. So what else do you need? So yeah, everything's
yeah,
it's all ticking along.
yeah. Good stuff. Okay, right. So let's do some rapid fire questions to start
Okay.
this episode off. Okay. Here we go, Cassandra. What is your favorite animal?
A peacock.
Oh, what's that?
I just really love their colors, and I think it's one of God's greatest designs in animals because why are they so patterned? Why are they so colorful? I just love
Mm,
I just love that.
isn't peacocking like a phrase in like the pickup scene? Have you heard about
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yeah. Does
It
that
is.
work? Is that peacock? It's basically if you're peacocking, you're intentionally standing out from other, like you're wearing a bright suit or something, and that kind
Yeah.
of brings attention to yourself as a guy.
Yes, because
Uh,
the male peacocks are the ones that will spread their feathers to try and attract the women. So when a man is peacocking,
right.
he's, doing that, but in human form, he's showing off and trying to attract the women you know, by his
Yeah.
peacock
By
feathers.
something extreme.
Something extreme.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or bragging.
Okay.
I guess that's also a part of it if you're
Right.
who's
Yeah.
bragging or you're trying to show off to
Mm-hmm.
attract a mate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Peacock favorite animal. That's good. Okay. If you could take three things to an island, desert island, what would they be,
An
Cassandra?
air fryer.
Oh wow! You know what? My mum just got an air fryer recently. She
Did
loves it.
she? Great
Yeah,
investment.
she's on. She's a part of the cult now.
The air fryer cult.
She's joined the cult.
You know what? It's a great cult. I don't have one, but I want one. And if I was going to be on an island, I think I'd have a wireless air fryer because there's no
Oh, that's
electricity.
good.
And then I
That's
can
good.
cook things like fish and any animals that are fine. I feel
Oh,
like as a
yeah.
Christian, you need to say Bible, but I also feel like I'd have my phone
You could air
that
fry a
has a
Bible, yeah.
Bible. No, I don't want to air fry the Bible. I know it's the bread of life, but it's not that kind of bread. You know, it's not that kind of bread, mate.
No wonder. I feel
God.
like a King James Bible. That's at least 30 minutes in the air fryer.
Delicious.
It's at least 30 minutes.
It would be the least tasty. I wouldn't eat that one. Difficult to get through.
Message Bible. That would be like a 5 minute fry. It'll be done.
That's a fry up in the morning.
That's
That's
great.
a
Yeah, I think people should like message in how long they think each version of the Bible would take in an air fryer to be fully cooked. That'll be
what a question.
that's the main theme of this podcast. What? Sorry, a Bible and what else? Air fryer Bible.
What else would I really want to take? Some moisturizer.
Uh,
Because I really hate
cause,
when my skin is dry and I feel like I could shower off in the sea and find like
mm,
the salt as like an exfoliator. I'm sure I can do all that, but I need moisture after that.
Cassandra,
So
you're gonna be proud of me.
go on, what did you do?
I bought some moisturizer online
Oh, did
after
ya?
yeah after I showed you that thing that wasn't moisturizer that I thought was moisturizer. I actually bought some moisturizer online. So
Good.
yeah,
That's
and it has
very good.
SPF in it as well. That's quite good,
That's
isn't it?
very good. SPF is what we
Yeah.
need to use the older we get. Oh, to be fair, not even the older we get,
Oh.
just in general life, SPF is the one. So well done, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, brilliant. Squares or circles?
Squares.
Okay, any reasoning?
No, I just feel more drawn to a square.
Okay. Crisps or chocolate?
Oh, it depends on the day, doesn't it? But this is quick fire,
Okay.
so my immediate thought was crisps.
Okay. And then if you have a spare hour, what would you do? Like if you have an unexpected hour, like work have told you to leave an hour early, what would you do?
What would I do? Go for a walk.
Okay, good stuff. And then lastly, and how we segue into the theme of this episode. Do
Oh,
you think dating apps are more effective than meeting in real life?
oh, that's a
Oh, that's
very
how we
good
do it.
topic.
That
Look
is
at
how we
that.
do it on the show. The segue.
That was really great. That was. Have you been practicing your singing?
Yeah,
Quite good.
honestly, it's kind of a guilty pleasure. I wish I would. It's a guilty dream. I would love to be a pop star.
Oh, is it?
Well,
One
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Maybe a
Yeah,
music
one
producer's
day.
listening and they're like, you know what, I can sample that and
If
just.
if anybody is listening and yeah wants to write a song with that's how we do it on the show, the segue, I could give you hit me up.
Christmas number one, that.
DM me, yeah, DM me on Instagram, and I can.
Christmas number one. I
Yeah,
can't wait for
Christmas
that.
#1. That's how we do it on the show. That is the
That's how we
segue.
do it on the show. Banger.
No,
Absolute
so
banger.
today we are talking about dating apps in general. Are they effective? I think they are effective, but think the pros and cons, different things to think about, and
Yes.
also I think also just about how society has changed dramatically from even when I was a kid. So when I was like an adolescent, a teenager, there was such a stigma around
Mm.
dating apps. You had to like print off a photo, you had to send it in. Um, like it was very kind of if you were trying to find someone on a dating app, it was kind of like, oh, you are really desperate. Do you
Yeah,
know?
no, that was a
What were
real
your
thing.
thoughts about apps growing up?
It was that if you are online trying to find someone, then you're just very, very desperate. You're just
Mm-hmm.
scraping the bottom barrel. I really used to think this growing up because on TV, there's a show called How I Met Your Mother, and there's an episode where
Mm-hmm.
Ted goes on. Well, he says he goes online to meet someone, and they're all like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, Ted, what does it come to that? You can't go online. What do you mean?" And that's what it was, wasn't it? If you go online to meet someone, that's like, oh man, oh man, terrible. So
Mm.
I fed into that. Yeah, 100%.
Can you remember when you first got onto online data? When you first like set up a profile for something?
Yes. This I was. To be fair, it weren't that long ago. Like,
Oh,
to be
oh.
honest, I so my when did I first get on? I was about, I'm 32 now. And so I was about,
Mm.
I'd say maybe 28,
Oh, wow,
29.
that is quite, yeah, that is quite recent. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really find my men on the internet, to be fair. Not
Mm. Didn't need
online.
to. Didn't need to.
I
You're very, very
well,
beautiful.
well, thank you, but it's not even just that. I think like, I didn't date men unless I knew them in person. And then the one guy that I did date, and I didn't know him in person, it was just from Instagram. And so after
Mm-hmm.
that ended, I was like, right, what do you do? I guess you just get online then, innit, and start dating
Mm-hmm.
this way. So
Mm.
yeah, it was a very recent thing. But my thoughts changed around them way before
Okay.
that. But
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
start
Yeah.
dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What about you?
think. So I was very hesitant to join online dating. I felt almost. Yeah. I so wanted like a love story. Like you know how
Mm,
like you meet. I'm very much a romanticist. I love love. And yeah, I just felt like if I had to tell someone like, "Oh, we met on an app," it's just not as romantic. It's not as
yeah.
glamorous, I suppose. Um, so for a very long time, I was holding out, and then when I moved to London, I think I had a few dates, but then I was just like, oh, "Bite the bullet. Let's get online." And that actually kind of kick-started my dating career, I suppose, because I didn't
Mm,
really go on many dates before that. And yeah, I thought online is very helpful in some ways, just because the president is already set, like the intention is already set. You know, you
yeah.
don't have to like ask him out. Well, you have to ask him out, but you don't have to like declare your feelings
Yeah, because
for
everyone knows
them.
why we're there. We're all there to date.
Yeah,
So yeah.
but yeah, I think Tinder was the first kind of app that changed the game.
Was he?
I never signed up for Tinder.
Oh, I thought you meant that you were on Tinder. Tinder has a
No,
has a stigma.
Tinder has a bit of a reputation for
It has a
like
reputation.
the hook the real like hookup one, isn't it?
Yes.
You said that so disappointingly.
Like a disappointed mom. Yes.
Yeah, the pause.
Yes.
Like, yes, it does.
Yes. But I mean, to be fair, you know what, actually, let's not go into the apps and their different things. But yeah, um, Tinder was, I think, the one that changed the game. I think that's the one that kind of opened up people thinking, is it cool to be online?
Mm-hmm.
Do we
Mm-hmm.
do that? Yeah.
Mm.
But there was
And
also things like Match.com and eHarmony and all these
yep,
not apps,
before,
but
yeah.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think the phone helped. Like if you was on the app, if it was just on the phone, for some reason it made it more uh, okay. It made it
yeah.
more. did make it less old fashioned. Like if you have to sign up on a laptop, it feels more official. Feels more of like a document that you're
Yeah,
doing your tax
it's a real commitment.
claim. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that is right. I mean, all the dating platforms do have kind of different identities, I suppose. But yeah, what? So do you think they're effective? More effective than real life? Do you think?
Well, yes. I
Oh
think
wow.
because there's pros
Okay.
and cons, isn't there? Like there's pros and cons
Mm,
to all things in life. But I do
mm-hmm.
think that dating apps are very effective, especially if you live,
Mm,
you know, in quite a remote place. If
mm-hmm.
you have
Mm,
dated everyone in your city. Now, I don't know how many
mm-hmm.
dates that would take to go on, but
That'd be a lot. Yeah.
if you feel as though you've done that and you want to widen your parameters, then dating apps are the way to do that. Otherwise, how else are you going to meet people? They're great because you like I said, like we both said, um it's just on your phone, so you can, and you
Mm-hmm.
know why you're there. And people on their
Mm-hmm.
profile, they may lie, but you can put if you're looking for a life partner, if you're looking for a fling, if
Mm-hmm.
you're looking to get married, and all that's just there. And as much as some may say that takes away from, you know, the small talk of getting to know someone, I find that quite, or did find that quite convenient, because it's just there. There's no, so what are you
Mm-hmm.
looking for? You told me what you're looking for in your profile, and so I can choose
Mm-hmm.
whether or not to continuously talk to you. So I think they're really great. I'm a massive advocate for them, if I'm honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're really good for like just matching you up with people that you would never have met in real life
Yeah.
and you would never have kind of got to know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just really it cuts to the chase.
It
You know,
does.
it cuts to the chase.
It
Um,
does.
but then also there's probably some negatives of the apps, just in terms of like sometimes it feels a bit like a catalog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it does feel like a catalog. And it is quite superficial, and it is very shallow in a lot of different ways, because people are
Mm-hmm.
literally just looking at your profile and then saying, I don't like that, over small little
Mm-hmm.
things. Or they're looking at your pictures thinking, yeah, I like that, but they're not looking at what you're saying on there. So yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
there's pros and cons. And of course it does take away from just meeting someone in real life, and people think it takes away from your, like you said earlier, it takes away from your story and your romantic
Mm.
story, and
Yeah, but
people just want to,
you can build upon your story. Isn't just how you met.
yes, that's
You
exactly what
know.
I was going to say. That isn't just, you
Yeah.
know, it's not everyone just bumps into their partner on the street and they drop all their books on the floor, and
Yeah.
then they pick up each other's books and they lock eyes. That doesn't happen to everybody.
Oh,
So,
that's not. Is
you
that
know,
Notting Hill? Something. Yeah, Notting Hill. When they bump into each other.
oh, I've never watched that
But
film, so I don't know. But
oh, really? Okay.
sorry, I'm not a film watcher. I like them, but I haven't watched half the films that I'm meant to have watched. But yeah, so I feel like yeah, the pros are you can meet so many new people. The cons are that it is quite a superficial. It is a catalog. You're shopping for what you want, and it's very easy just to swipe off someone.
And I feel like for guys, this might sound really bad, but
Oh
like,
no.
oh my god.
Oh no.
Well, I'm just saying, for guys, sometimes we're like, most of the time we're not even like looking at the profile. We're just looking at the pictures.
Oh. I didn't say anything. I did not say
No.
anything. I'm just doing my disappointed Marley.
I do think that's a guy. I don't. I think just guys are much more kind of physically on the first thing. Guys are more physically driven. So
No, I hear that. But to be fair, women do that on the apps as well. Like women will, I think, immediately look at height. And if they're not above five nine or
yeah,
5'10", women will be like, yeah, nah, swipe off.
yeah,
So I think men and women do it.
yeah. What's
It's
with the
you know.
height thing, Cassandra? Why do girls like people who are tall? Why is that?
You know what? I think it's the idea of a man, if he's taller than you, he'll be able to protect you. He'll be able to, you know, he towers
Mm,
over you. It's that thing of
yeah.
feeling a bit. small and
Safe.
like a little woman, and
Yeah.
that's just your man who's big and tall. And I think it's that. I think
Yeah.
that's where it comes from.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's obviously not true because short people can fight. So, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
don't discriminate. But I think that's what it is. I think women just we're we've had it brainwashed into us that a man who's taller than you is, he'll protect you and you just look up to him and all of that. But it's all
Mm.
nonsense, really.
I don't think it's brainwashed. It's just like that probably was true, like way back in, you know, uh, tribal days, or you know,
Mm,
very, very. What's the word? So survival instinct, instinctual. That's the survival instincts kicking in. Do you think from
I
like
have
way
heard
back?
that argument that, it's the same way that men like women who have wider hips because
Oh yeah,
subconsciously you're meant to think, oh, she can carry kids. So
yeah,
it's like a
yeah, yeah,
maybe it is that. But then
yeah.
also I think, society and social media and films, they've all kind of played into it. And now
Mhm,
it's become a bit of a brainwash. But I think,
mhm.
yeah, I think it did maybe start from that. It started from
Okay.
this, who can protect me? A tall person.
Mhm. Yeah, but that's what I think. Just men are different in terms of the apps. Men and women are different how they approach them, how they act. I think yeah, men are very much physically inclined, and women are
Mm.
more looking about them. Like I'm not gonna like someone who has just got pictures and no text. I won't.
Wouldn't you
I'm not gonna
though?
do. No, I
I
wouldn't.
feel
I
like
wouldn't.
I
I
feel
mean,
like
they have
men
to
need
have some.
pictures.
They have to have some text,
Okay,
but it's
that's
just.
good.
It's not like it. It's not like a make or break. Oh, she's into tennis. Now I can definitely like her. Oh, she has a sister or something.
Is
Like
it
it
not? Because
probably. No,
okay,
it probably
because I
wouldn't
knew
play
I
into
knew a
the.
guy years ago, not years
Okay.
ago, a few years ago, but he said that he used to swipe off of women if they said that they were into Harry Potter because he said it was a really
Oh.
basic interest, and so he said he just didn't want anyone into Harry Potter, and I was like, fair enough, like, fair,
Wow.
but yeah, so yeah, I
That's a
guess it's
basic
different
interest.
from. He said it was just a really basic interest, and I was like, "What do you mean?" He said every woman is into Harry Potter, and she will put it on her profile every time. And I was like, "Well,
Oh.
maybe it's good. I've never watched it, so I don't know
What do you think?
if
Like
it's
the
good."
what's the most cliche interest for a man? Do you think
Oh, what's the most cliche interest for a man?
gym? Do you think
Football,
football? Yeah, 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 yeah.
gym, football and gym. Something sporty.
That's pretty boring, isn't it?
Yeah, Arsenal fan is yeah. I mean, if you're an Arsenal fan, it's fine, but you know, I think that's the most cliche.
Hmm. Okay, right. Let's talk a bit about openers. Openers on the apps. I did some research. What are good openers and bad openers? And you can tell us what works for you, what your best openers have been that you've received. Obviously not now, but received. So some some bad openers could be, hey,
Just
that's
hey.
pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah.
What? Just
Hey,
say
hey,
hey.
hey, hey with the emoji hand.
What's wrong with that? That's just a standard greeting, just hey. Hey.
Oh, really? Oh, that's you think that's okay, do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
like just a nice hey.
Oh, I think it's kind of like doesn't really make any effort. You could say hey with the hand emoji for like it doesn't take you very long, does it?
It doesn't take you very long, but it's starting the conversation. So I feel like you have to say
Okay.
hey and then you progress on to like, hey, how are you? Like you don't just end it at hey.
Okay. Well, that was my next one. Just how are you? Do you think that's a good? You think that's a good chat up line? How are you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
Oh,
it just
maybe
depends where you're
maybe I've got this
taking the.
wrong.
I think it depends because it is quite boring.
Because
But
like, what's the best that's going to come from that? You're going to say, "I'm good. How are you?" I'm not. I'm actually doing not great. How are you? Like, well, there's only two.
I'm actually really bad. So,
She's very
you
depressed at
know.
the moment. Thanks for
Yeah,
reaching out.
but but I feel like it's the start of a conversation with a stranger. Like in the street, you'd be like, "Hey, how are you? I like your shoes," or "Oh, I like this," or "Oh." Then you'd progress from there.
Okay.
So I guess it depends on where it progresses from the "Hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. Fine, thanks. How are you? Yeah, I'm good. So I saw this on your profile. Tell me more about this." Or you know, it. I think it's the
Mm-hmm.
if you just keep it to "Hey, how are you? How was your day? What did you have for dinner?" That's a very run of the mill, boring
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So some good openers. I've got which yeah, so basically commenting on something on their profile, like you comment on a picture. Like
Yeah.
if their pictures like them at Go Ape, you say like, oh I love Go Ape, something like that.
Yeah.
Mention something on the profile. Just I
Yeah.
think it just shows that you've done your due diligence. You've done your research, I suppose. Um, have we got anyone on the chat today? Is there any
There's no
comments on the
comments come
chat?
through.
Okay. Well, I hope this is helpful for people listening.
Drop us a message if it is. Please let us
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And then so that was one thing. Marry, kill, avoid.
Marry,
Do
kill,
you think?
avoid.
Yeah. Do you think that's a good opener? Like it's kind of a fun. Who like you give a list of three people and you go, who would you marry? Who would you kill? Who would you avoid?
That's a good opener, yeah. Because it will get
That's
a
kind of makes
conversation going.
kind of yeah, it
You
makes it kind of fun.
kill is a bit sinister, but hey.
Yeah, maybe I should change it. Yeah, for a Christian one, like who would you like to uh, be passive aggressive to? Tell a passive aggressive remark to.
Who would you like to be passive aggressive to? Oh man. Who would you like to pray for?
Oh, that is there you go. That's a
Who
good
needs
one.
prayer?
That could be the Christian. Yeah, who would you pray for? Who would you sing worship to? Who would you prophesy over? That's kind of
That's such
the
a
Christian
Christian.
version.
That is so
Yeah,
Christian.
yeah.
Oh man.
And then also two truths and a lie. Have you played that game?
I have played that game. I quite like it as an opener. I think it's good. I think it yeah, again, is a conversation starter. I guess you just want things that are
Mm.
gonna start a conversation. So my fiance, when he first started talking to me,
Yeah,
he said, "Hey," I said,
tell your
"Hi,"
story. Yeah,
and
you
then
yeah you said hi to him, didn't you?
no, so I liked him
Oh,
first, and then he matched with
oh,
me, and then he said, "Hey," and
oh,
I said, "Hi," and then he sent me a
oh. So he
voice
said
note.
hey. He
He
said
said,
hey
"Hey." Yeah,
with the
like he said,
emoji.
"Hey." Yeah, just said, "Hey." And I said, "Hey." And then he sent me a voice
Ah,
note saying he asked me a really interesting question.
oh,
And I
wow,
was like, interesting.
wow.
Very interesting. And because again, when you're on these apps, you are talking to a few people at once. So I had a rule, no more than five
Mm.
people because I used to be on the apps and I used to just have so many conversations open, like 20, and I just lose track and I got overwhelmed and I was like, right, Cash, you can't be doing that again. So
Wow.
this time around, the last time around, I went on and I said, right, no more than five conversations open at a time. And those five, when I just found that the conversation was a bit, you know, run of the mill, or I just weren't feeling the, connection, I would just say, this has been really lovely chatting with you, but I don't feel as though, you know,
That's
it's
crazy.
it's going anywhere. So I'd then X that off and then I'd open up a new conversation. But he asked me a really interesting question that stuck out amongst
Hmm.
all the other conversations that I had. And I was like, interesting. Very interesting.
I
So
think the
that's how
voice
we got
note
chatting.
helped. Do you think the voice note helped? Like you actually
Yes.
hearing his voice.
Yes, because he has a very nice voice. And I remember when I played it, I
Oh,
was like, wow, what a voice. Like, wow.
wow.
And because you feel like you kind of know them a little bit more, they're using their voice. You can hear how they say things. Do they have a bit of a sense of
Yeah,
humor?
it
And,
feels
you
more
know,
real.
it feels more real rather than just words on a screen. So, yeah, he,
Gosh, what? So you would easily have five conversations open at one time.
yes.
Wow.
Is
I
that
think
good or
that
bad?
no, I think that's the difference between men and women. Like I feel like men to have five girls that maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking from experience, but I think feels like women have more options on the apps. I don't know if that's true, but like if I just feel like men would never have five unless you're like a proper alpha. I don't know, gym millionaire man.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess I guess I have heard this before. Um I have heard this before, but I think it's A because women don't like men on the apps. They wait to be liked and then they will
Oh,
like the men that have liked them. So if you're not liking that
right.
woman, she
Yeah.
won't first just like you because if you haven't liked her already, why are we liking you? So I think there's that.
Right.
Men
Yeah.
just don't get as many matches because women just aren't. They're waiting for the men. Unless it's like you said, a man that is like, he's in the
Mm.
gym and it just
Mhm.
seems like that kind of man.
Mhm.
But that's very, that's like 2% of men. And there is actually a stat
Yeah.
that says what was the stat? That a lot of men on these apps, they actually don't get that much engagement and interaction because it's like
Mm.
2% of the guys that are on there that are
Yeah.
like
I've heard
six foot
this.
five and whatever that are getting all the different women liking them, but then everyone
Two
else is
percent get
just
like 90% of the market, the
yes,
dating market.
yeah. So I think
Wow.
it's that as well. So, you know, unfortunately,
Gosh,
it's a harsh world on these apps for men and for women because
it's
that can
hard,
happen
man.
with women as well. There are some women that all the guys will like, and there's some women that men will just completely swipe off and be like, nah. So it's a harsh world. It's a very
It's
tough
hard.
world.
Life is actually default hard, I think.
It is.
Like life is not easy. I think life in its default is tough. And then
Yeah,
you have the moments of joy you got to be grateful for because this is not an easy ride.
it's
I
not an
think
easy ride.
all this comfort and all this technology, it kind of uh, brainwashes us into thinking that life is easy, but it's not. I think.
It's
Um,
hard.
I was going to ask you something though. So you have five open. At
Yeah.
what point? At what point do you switch just to your guy? Like, at what point do like the four uh, other people in the race drop out,
Disappear.
get eliminated? Yeah, yeah. Well, at what point does that happen?
So for me, for me, I had five open, and I
Still got
was
five open.
I, no, no, I have none open. All the apps are gone,
All the apps are
completely
deleted. Good.
gone forever. But I had five open, and then because on my personal one, um, there was a lot of men that would like me, and so I would have the
Hmm.
five, and then I would find, like I said earlier, if one of them was just a bit dry, I'd eliminate. If one of them was, and I would like someone else that was in my likes to like fill that spot.
Mm.
And then I think I
Okay.
made the transition because I went on dates
Mm.
with some of them and they just didn't work out. If I went on a date with someone and it didn't work
Oh.
out, I'd go back and be like, that was a really great date, but I don't feel as though it's for me.
Oh, that's
Unmatched,
just good, Cassandra. You got so
and
much
I'd
integrity.
have it with
At
like
least
a
you
regime.
communicated.
Yeah, I feel like it's really important to communicate on the apps
Really
instead of just
important.
unmatching someone
Oh,
because,
oh my gosh, that's
yeah, because people do
brutal.
that. It's very brutal, but I think you need to communicate and say, you know what, I don't,
Yeah.
not that I'm not enjoying this conversation, but what I would say is this conversation, I feel like there's more of a friendship vibe and
Oh,
it's not for me, but I wish you the best. Good luck in your search, you know, vibe.
bless you.
And then some of them will be like, oh no, please. And I'll be like, no,
Oh,
you know,
really? They would
yeah,
beg.
like yeah, they'd be like,
Oh
no, look, can
no.
we just keep talking? Sorry, I've had a busy few days, and but
Oh,
I guess you just know if you have that kind of
yeah.
connection with
You
someone.
know pretty quick as well.
You know it pretty quick. I'd also have phone
Yeah,
calls, so quite
that's good.
quickly I'd say, can we talk on the phone? Because I feel like on the phone you can get a more better idea of whether or not you will
Mhm.
vibe with this
Mhm.
person. So even sometimes before going on a date with them, let's jump on the phone and see if we actually get along, and then we'll go on a date
Mm.
if we do. And so I do like that. I think at the point where I switched was
Mhm.
when I was talking to my now fiance on the app. Then we moved over
Mhm.
to phone calls. I still
Mhm.
had the app at this point. Then we went on dates. and I was like, ah, this is a very good guy. But at this
Uh,
point, I still had the app, but I wasn't really talking to anyone on there because I was really interested in this guy. So I just didn't feel the need to pick up my phone and talk to some other guy on an app because I was
mm-hmm.
always talking to him. And then after a bit, I'd say, because we started dating last May, we made it official in July. So I'd say it took me like a month, maybe in the June. He
Oh,
deleted
that's
his
great.
app and I said, I haven't deleted mine yet. And then I think a couple of weeks later, I said, I have deleted mine. Uh, just so you know, like, just so you
Uh,
know, we're on the same page. But yeah, I think I was quite cautious to just delete them straight away in case it didn't work out and then I'd have to start all
mm-hmm.
over again. And I just found that really
Mm-hmm.
long. So I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to do it the smart way rather than just meet this really great guy and
Mm.
think, oh, let's go. I thought, Cass, let's learn from the past and actually let's take our time, give it a
Mhm.
couple months. If it works,
Mm.
great, get rid of those. And it did work. And I was really happy to just get rid of them and focus on this one person that I really found to be the most interesting to me. So, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
love that. I love that.
yeah.
That's good. I think that's so good that like you communicated to the people who didn't make it. You know, I think that's important.
Didn't
But
make
then
it.
also, I don't know, is it my policy is like if I meet up with them on a date, I will
Oh.
communicate with them. As your light just died again.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh,
I've been
oh.
trying to charge it whilst
R.I.P.
it's been on, but it
R.I.P.
doesn't work.
Rest in peace. Is
Oh.
it so? But yeah, my policy is if I meet up with them and it doesn't work out, I'll communicate for sure. But do you think if you're talking on the app
Mm,
and it kind of just peters out,
mm.
are you are they owed like? Sorry, I don't
An
think it's going to work
explanation.
out. Are they owed? Is that ghosting? That's what I want to know. What qualifies ghosting?
Well, I think ghosting is anytime that you just stop talking to someone with no explanation. Like if
Hmm.
you've had like if the conversation has been, "Hey, how are you? Good. How are you? Good." And then you just stop.
It's a
I feel like
beautiful
that's okay
conversation.
to just
It's a beautiful
wonderful.
conversation.
It's a wonderful conversation, but if that is all you've got to and 2 weeks have gone by and no one said anything, I feel like it's okay just to
Yeah.
unmatch without saying anything. I think you have to play it by case.
Yeah.
But if you've had like a
Yeah.
substantial conversation over a few days and then it's petered out and 2 3 days later no one said anything but you're not really feeling it, I think you do kind of have to say just a very quick hi.
Ah.
I hope you've had a good few days or a good
Yeah.
week. We haven't really been chatting. I'm just going to
Mm.
close this chat now and
Ah.
end this. And you don't have to wait for them to respond as long as they've got you know that they've read that message, so they're not just sat there like, oh, but what did I do? Where did they go? Because that's horrible. I feel like people are
Mm.
people, and that's the downside of apps. We can forget that people. This is a person sat on the other side of
That's
this phone, and they're
yeah.
waiting on your
So
message, and they're
yeah, and
sitting
they're
and
getting
they're reading,
excited.
they're
They're
getting
getting excited
excited, and
about
then
it.
you just
Yeah.
leave, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
what did I do? So
That's what I
yeah,
don't like. Yeah, I don't like about the phones. Is it feels like a video game. Feels like a computer game, and like you're just
yeah,
on this game, and the game is to get matches and to meet a girl. But
mm,
yeah, you can forget that there's another person at the end of the line, a real
yeah.
person. This is
It's a
not.
real person.
It's not FIFA. It's not a computer game.
It's not FIFA.
Um,
It's a real life, and they might be really, really, really into you, and really,
mm,
really, really, just excited that you even matched with them, and they don't know what to say or they're a
uh,
bit nervous, and so the conversation isn't going very well. And so I just feel
mm,
like you have to just let people know. By the way, hi, I'm just gonna leave now. Good luck
mm.
and
I
Merry
think also
Christmas.
that makes the other person there's an like it feels that you're honoring the other person like
Yeah,
you're honoring with them with they're not going to be like always wondering what happened and like I think
yeah,
just it's a human thing to let them know to communicate if you're not interested just communicate
Yeah,
Um,
it's the beginning of communication in your guys's, world. And I think communication skills, they just work
mm,
across the board. It's just as well also. And one thing that I didn't want anyone to ever be able to say is, oh, when I was talking to her and she just stopped talking to me. No, I told you that I'm gonna stop talking to you. And these are the reasons why. So, there was no like nothing
yeah.
left for me and my integrity and for me and my reputation. Like I didn't want anyone to kind of be like, oh,
Mm,
well, we were having a really great conversation and then she just randomly unmatched me. Like, no, actually, I'm going to let you know why. And I'm going to
mm,
tell you why I'm unmatching you. And yeah,
so
unless
good.
someone was being like really
So good.
vulgar, then I would just unmatch them straight away.
Oh,
Because I don't
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
I
yeah.
need to explain to you if you've said something really, you know, overly sexual or just some men just say really
Mm,
vulgar things and you're just like, why are you saying that?
mm,
So if I match
mm,
straight after that, I feel like you know why. Sometimes I'd tell them and I'd be like, I'm actually going to match you because you just said this and that's really crazy. Goodbye. But half the time,
mm,
they know why you were matched. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, you honor the person, you honor yourself.
mm.
And it's just a good thing to do, you know?
Okay, so here's some facts for you, some trivia. Um,
Oh,
in
this
a
is very good.
2019 paper, Michael Rosenfield, Ruben Thomas, and Sonia Horson documented how the percentage of married couples who met online went from 2% in 1998 to 20% in 2008, and then nearly
Wow.
50% in 2017. That's quite a bit out of date, but dating is online dating is as dominant as meeting in real life. 54% of online daters in the USA relationships that come from online dating are just as successful as the ones that begin in person. I was thinking about
Hmm.
that. Is there, if you meet online, are you going to be more successful in your marriage? Like, I was just
Oh,
thinking
that's a
about
good
that.
question. That's a very good question. You see, I don't know. I'll see when I get there. Like, I'll see when I get. No, I mean, I think because I think in person, I think you. I mean, again, I don't know if this is facts or whatever, but I feel like if you meet someone in person and you feel like attracted to them straight away, I feel like that can
Hmm.
blind you to who they actually are.
Yeah,
And we
hundred
go off
percent.
of this
Yeah.
whole, oh, well, I was love at first sight and I fell for them the minute I saw them. But you don't know anything about them. And love isn't based on that
Mm,
feeling. Love is, who are they? Do you love them as a human being? And I feel like on
mm,
apps, you can get to know someone before falling or starting to like them. And
mhm,
that can
mhm.
make for a better, you know, life with someone. You can build a friendship. Um, Yeah, we have a comment. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, yeah. You can read it.
Alfwald said, if someone hasn't
Elfwald.
got back to me after a few days, I know it's not happening, then getting a knockback message is a double whammy for me. I'd rather they just leave it, to be honest. Fair point.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Fair point.
yeah. I think that's if someone isn't communicate, like everybody has their phones on. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has the
Mm,
internet. Everybody's on their phone 24/7. Let's not
mm,
pretend.
yes.
If they're not communicating, like not like if they haven't reached out in like 2 or 3 days, there's definitely a reason they're not. They're definitely not interested.
Yeah, I think you have to
You
assume
know what I
certain
mean?
things and not, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
there's some things that you have to assume, and there's some things that I feel like some people need it to be, they need to be told. And I think you have to then, it's a case
Right.
by case thing. You just judge based off of the case. Um, because yeah, some
Mm-hmm.
people won't assume that it's, some people just won't. And, you know, I once had a guy who we were talking on the app. Um, what did he do? I think this is before I learned my etiquette of letting
Your
people know
policy.
my
This is
policy.
good.
But I
Yeah.
unmatched him and then he found me on Instagram. And so, yeah, like people do
Oh my
that. And he
word! I
was,
would hate that.
and
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like, what do you do when someone then finds you on Instagram to ask you, well, why? And then you're like, ah, because it weren't really. So then I think I just said, you know what, I'm
Oh
going to just have to let people know
wow.
when. So, I just
Wow.
think you have to sometimes let people know. It's a case by case thing though. If someone hasn't gotten back to you or you haven't gotten back to them after days and days and weeks, no, you don't need to send them a message to say I'm not interested. Bye, because I know
Yeah.
that you're not. But if it's been like, you've been talking for the past few days and it's it could have gone well, but you're just not feeling it, and you're thinking to unmatch them to not waste your
Mm,
time, then I feel like you need to let that person know and say, we've had a really great conversation. Thanks for your time. I'm not going to continue it. But yeah. But yeah, I feel, yeah, no, if it's been like
it's good for
days
you,
and
like,
weeks,
and if you feel like yourself, oh, I can't be bothered to message that person.
yeah.
That's probably a good indicator that you're not interested. Like, I think
Yes.
sometimes we hold on to stuff like, oh, I should keep trying. I think,
Mm,
just if you're not like super excited, that's fine. And it's,
mm,
you should use that as an indicator. Just don't try and force yourself to
mm.
fall in love with someone. Don't
Yeah,
force
no.
yourself to be interested in someone. What I was going to
Definitely.
say, like, what I think what I don't like about dating apps. Again, obviously, this is on a dating app. We love we love Salt, the app.
Yes.
What? Yeah, this is not anti-dating app podcast. What I think what is valuable though, like, I think dating apps kind of remove that dynamic of dating in friendship groups, and like I think
Mm,
it's helpful when you're kind of accountable, like when your friends see you dating. I think that's really helpful. I think dating apps, they kind of you can it kind of enables you to like hide away your relationship, like hide away this person, um, and you're not really accountable, and your friends can't like speak into it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. No, yeah, that's a very good point. That is very, very good
Like,
point because you
yeah,
don't have any kind of accountability for your behavior other than
yeah,
yourself. But
yeah.
yeah,
That's
if you
what I mean.
are,
Yeah,
nah,
that's what I think. Struggle with. It's like there's no one to like, hold you to account and just give you advice on how you're acting because they're not seeing it and it's all
mm,
online. I suppose you can like introduce them quickly to your friendship group, but I think that's just, maybe I'm an idealist, and I just think there's something beautiful about like being in a friendship group and then dating from that. I think that's just a very good foundation, and then having other people speak into it. But again, obviously, we don't live in an ideal world.
we don't.
Um,
We
but
don't.
yeah, I
I
just
guess that
thought
is the
that was.
ideal for everyone though. Like the ideal is that you would meet someone in person, that you would, develop a friendship with them first, that you would then fall in love and it would just last forever.
Mm,
And that's
mm,
the
everyone's
quote
hoping for
unquote,
that.
everyone's hoping for that. But I feel as
Mm,
though anything else doesn't mean that it's less. Because after 20 years of marriage,
yeah,
who's going to really care what happened in the first month
yeah,
of knowing each other?
yeah,
No one.
yeah, yeah.
So I feel as though, because again, I always thought, yeah, that's what, you want. You want someone that you just meet your friends first and then you fall in love with your best friend and da 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 da. But actually,
Mm,
um, no, I think you can absolutely build a friendship with someone the minute you start to see them romantically. The two can just grow
mm,
at the same time. I think
mm-hmm,
you also have to remember that we do live in a really different world, and online is a really great way of meeting someone. And you can also meet someone, build a friendship with them on the internet. That can also happen. So I
mm-hmm,
feel as though we shouldn't
mm-hmm.
let, that ideal take away from how lovely and beautiful a union met online can be. Because like I said,
Mm.
20, 30 years of marriage, you ain't going to be sat there thinking, man, I wish I met her in a bookshop. No, you just got to be like,
Mm.
we've had 30 years of marriage and this is great
That's what,
and
yeah. Like, there's
I'm
just
happy I
because
met
you
them.
didn't, you can build your story when you meet
You
them,
can.
and like you can make that really romantic. You can make that the most romantic thing ever. Like, it doesn't matter how you met. Obviously, it'd be great if you met each other like in a really cool way. You like just bumped into each other, but it's not the be all end all. And I think, yeah, to lose opportunities and not get involved in online dating just because you want that fairy tale start is a bit
Mm.
foolish.
Oh,
And
100%. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I agree. Miriam left a comment. Have you seen it?
Miriam says, I really agree there. That's really why I think that's really wise. I think she's talking about me, I assume. That's sadly
Yeah.
that's sadly the downside of meeting people online. It would be lovely if just meeting people through friends was the way we could. Yeah, I mean, that would be great. That would be great. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, I think just the world has really globalized, really got our connections have got so much bigger. It's not
Mm.
the old days where it was just you date someone in your local town, you'd marry them.
Yeah.
There's just so much choice now. I
There's
think
so
that's
much choice.
part of the reason why our generation is just marrying later, and because there is so much choice.
There's a lot of
And
choice.
yeah, but with you would think that would be better. You would think you'd be more have more chance of meeting your perfect fit, but it's actually the other way around. Like the more choice means more just a harder decision to make, and you're always more comparison. And
Yes.
I think my advice is that it's not who you find, it's what you build. I think
That's good, Pastor
there's
Bob.
yeah, like there's many just because someone doesn't have all the boxes checked. Like I think it's way more important what you commit, what you bring to the table, and what you build with that person rather than the actual person. I think that's why a lot of
Yeah.
arranged marriages work because they just get on with it. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you're my person. Let's just get on with it. Let's build something special. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it is hard. It is hard. Um, okay. Well, oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Do you think there's a difference for apps for Christians and secular? Like, does dating apps do they work better for secular dating or Christian dating, or do you think there's not a difference?
I don't think there's a difference. I think, if you are, yeah, I don't think there's a difference at all, to be honest. I think, you can meet good Christian men on the apps, or women, or whatever it is that you're into. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can just meet people, and I don't feel as though there's a difference as it pertains to. I mean, I guess people may say, I'm just thinking out loud, but people may say for Christians, is it a superficial vain thing to be going on an app and swiping off people that you don't like, and you're not really meant to be looking at people's appearance like that?
Oh right.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's it is what it is. It is life, and if you really want to meet someone, like you said earlier,
Mm,
I don't feel as though you can just write off a whole way of meeting someone just because this feels a bit, superficial. And as a Christian, we're not meant to be superficial. No, get on the
oh
apps,
no,
go
that's
meet people.
rubbish.
Please, please do that. What do you think?
Yeah, if there's a difference between Christian dating and secular dating for online,
Yeah.
um, I think no. Sometimes I do envy secular dating because
Hmm.
they haven't got all. Sometimes I feel it's a lot easier. They haven't got all these hoops to jump through. Do you believe in the Lord Jesus? Do you have character? Do you have I don't know? Can you do this? What's sometimes they just get on with it. Secular people,
Interesting.
non-believers. I think for Christian dating, it's like yeah, okay, it just comes back to there's a lot of stakes. There's a lot of stuff on the line, not online, on the line. Because I think most Christians want to get married,
Mm.
and most secular people don't want to get married. Or it's like marriage. They don't. It's not they don't want to get married. It's an art. It's eventually they'd rather move
Mm.
in with someone. So I think they're just more casual, and I think online dating can lend itself to that. That's probably why Tinder's so successful. But there's less stakes and there's less filters,
But
because the chances of me, like if I just worked in an office in London, which I did, the chances of me meeting like a spirit-filled believer who loves the Lord, who goes to charismatic church, that what the chances of me that's like 1% chance, isn't it?
yeah.
Of like, so I think when Christians do match with another believer that they're interested in, the stakes are a lot higher because there's a scarcity mindset. But with secular dating, I don't think there is that.
Interesting, because yeah, I think there's some really great points there. In that, I think there is less. It seems like there's less pressure with non-Christian dating. If you like each other, you go for it. You don't have to wait until marriage to sleep together. You
Yeah,
just
that's
live
what I mean.
life. You just go
They
for it.
just
They
they
just
live
live.
low. Yeah,
They just live, and they don't have any care in the
yeah.
world. They're just living. Whereas Christian
Yeah,
dating, it's very much like, right, you know, you first and foremost, everyone knows that Christian wants to get married, so that's already
yeah.
a big
That's already on
thing
the
to
cards.
go into
Yeah,
it. It's already on the cards. You do have to
yeah,
then wait
yeah.
to, you know, have sex. You have to
You need a plan. You
wait.
need
To,
like
you
a
need a
purity
plan.
plan. You need
Yeah, like, and that's
boundaries. You
all.
need to.
Yeah, it's all very. It does
You need a
make it quite.
mentor. You need a mentor
You need all
couple.
this stuff.
You
You
need
need all
all
this
this
stuff.
stuff.
All this stuff, and it is really hard.
Yeah,
It can be really
yeah.
hard, but I do feel as though I think as Christians, we should take a leaf out of the non-Christian dating world book and maybe take the pressure
Mm.
off yourself. The same way that they just
Mm-hmm.
kind of go with it. And also see Christian dating as a blessing in that, because we are living to a holy standard, if we
Mm-hmm.
do follow that standard and we date people that also follow that standard, you will more than likely have a more fruitful relationship
I was
and
going to say that I
marriage.
do. I think the relate that you would have a better marriage. I do think you would have a better marriage, and you'd
You
have
would, and
something more
that's
meaningful.
a positive. That's a big positive,
Yeah.
because non-Christian dating, again, they have to have the conversation. Do you want to get married? Because some non-Christian
Mm-hmm.
people do want to get married. They just don't. They're not Christians, but they want to get married. So then they have to have that
Mm-hmm.
conversation with someone. Do you want to get married? Do you not want to get married? Whereas Christianity, we can assume if you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, more than likely we're both trying to get married. Uh, so you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
have that conversation. But I think we should take a leaf out of non-Christian dating books, not like, doing stuff that we ain't meant to do, but take the pressure off a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. It's meant to be
Mm-hmm.
fun. It's meant to be an exploratory thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
meant to be, you don't just go with the flow, but you kind of just go with it. Does it work? Does it not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure you're in a position that if you do really like them and you need to get married within 6 months to a year, you could do that. Like, we can make this
Mm-hmm.
happen. So yeah, I think there's benefits to Christian dating, but I understand there's a lot of stuff to abide by.
There's a lot of admin, isn't there? There's a lot of
There's a lot of
things,
admin.
a lot of stuff that you got to. There's a lot of like filters that a
Yes.
lot of tests the person has to pass.
Yes.
And then when you find that person, you're like, oh my gosh, oh, you passed the test. And you come across so keen and so like,
Mm.
you just don't what you want. Like you get a bit possessive maybe, and yeah, it's hard. Also, but I think be open to like I like that you have five, like talking to five people. Like it kind of that does kind of off balance the stakes a little bit. You know,
Mm.
don't just when you're doing the online dating, don't just get sucked in to one potential. I think.
Oh
But anyway,
yeah,
we're nearly run out of time.
we have
Nearly
nearly
run out
run
of
out of
time.
time.
Yeah, that is it. That's the show.
That's it.
No, we.
That is it, that's it.
The seg.
I
You
mean,
see, I'm the
Miriam said,
segue.
great
I'm
that.
the segue king.
Miriam,
I'm the segue king.
yeah, no, that was really wonderful. That's it. That's it. Bye. No, Miriam left one comment. She's 2 minutes behind us, so Miriam, we're really sorry.
Okay.
Because in 2 minutes' time we'll be gone, but you'll still be hearing what we're saying. But she wanted to say secular and Christian dating. I do think that even though secular dating might seem easier, would you rather be a? And then the comments stopped. So Miriam, I don't know what you were gonna say there.
Would you
But I
rather
was
be
really
a?
intrigued. I was
What
really
could it be?
intrigued.
Would you rather be a hippopotamus? Would you rather be
Maybe.
a
Would you rather
person?
be a dot dot dot?
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Would you
okay.
rather be a single Christian living by God's standards, or would you rather be an unbeliever in a relationship with another? Oh, that is.
There you
You know
go.
what? Sometimes that's a tough call. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Now, obviously, I would say the Christian one, but there's
Okay.
definitely I'm just saying, there's definitely days where I'm like, oh, why not just like F it, let's just be an unbeliever, let's just do it their way. Like, there's definitely I have that thought. I'm not saying that thought doesn't come into my
No,
brain sometimes.
I understand that completely. I think it would come to most Christians' minds like, oh, I'm just gonna live. Just gonna
It's
live.
just hard, isn't it? Yeah,
It's
hard.
hard. It's
Holding
tough.
out, holding
Yeah,
out,
no,
waiting.
yep, 100%. And so yeah,
Then
I
your body
completely
has a mind of its own.
it
Your
does.
body doesn't really. Your body doesn't know that you're like a believer and you have all these holy standards. Like
It
you still have a
doesn't.
sex drive.
Yeah. And back in the day, because they got married much quicker, so they'd meet and be married within like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
All of
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
hormones
yeah,
that we feel now, and we're
yeah,
having to hold on to
yeah.
them for what, like 2 years. Back in the day,
Years.
like some people don't marry it for years. Back in the day, they would just meet, feel all these things, be married,
This is
done,
what I mean.
finished. But we
Yeah,
don't live like that
yeah.
now, and so
No,
it's
no.
difficult because we're not living the way that we were. We're living in a different way. Um, but
Yeah,
yes,
which sometimes isn't helpful.
no,
But
not at all.
anyway, we've gone over. We've gone over. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you,
Thank you very
everybody who's
much.
listening. Thank you, Miriam, for the comments. Thank you, F World. And we'll be back next week on table, though. We're going to be
On
back next
table,
week on table. So
yes,
we'll see you there. Have a good week. And yeah,
yes.
God bless you. Take care.
God bless. Bye.